Good morning, everyone. Steve Westman. Welcome to the live Audiophile Roundtable. From dad rock to 2000s, is an audiophile generational shift coming? That's what we're going to find out today. Is it coming? We've seen all these changes happening in record collecting. Vinyl isn't just for boomers, spinning 60s and 70s classic rock any longer. Some call it dad rock. We've got Gen X, such as myself, millennials. We have a millennial on the show today. And even Gen Zs are reshaping the hobby and driving new demand. So this morning, we're going to be asking the big questions. Who really owns the future of audiophile vinyl? Let's find out. I'm going to bring in, first of all, the vinyl cowboy, Robert Ensley. How you doing?
Good, Steve. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
We've got Swing and Sway with Danny K, another self-proclaimed Gen X. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's fine. And then I wanted to bring on a millennial because we're talking audiophile vinyl generational shift. Let's bring on new to the roundtable. He has his own YouTube channel called Americana Sam. Americana Sam, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
Love your show. Thank you. You're doing some great interviews, doing some great stuff, and you've put up a lot of videos of your time. So check out his channel, Americana Sam. Go to that channel, subscribe. That would be great. So the topic today, of course, dad rock. I mean, some don't even like the term dad rock, but that's what it could be because our dads listen to, especially depending on your age, listen to the music that is really hot right now in the audiophile industry. I'll say it, Steely Dan, Supertramp, to name a few, Doobie Brothers.
The Eagles.
The Eagles, thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, the list goes on. Dad rock. So I know there's going to be a shift at some point. There's going to be a shift in people in the industry, such as the mastering engineers at some point are going to retire. There'll be a new generation of mastering engineers if vinyl continues on its trajectory that we've seen it in the last 5 years. So I wanted to bring on this panel today to talk about that. Danny's already laughing.
Look at the comment from Robert Paul Siegel. Yes.
I heard Danny K is soon joining the Doobie Brothers. There you go. So what do you got? Well, first of all, here's the thing. Here's the shift. Now, we know Taylor Swift. We have to talk about this because it's a generational Swift is coming out with her new album. I think it's called Life of a Showgirl. When's that roll out? October the 2nd or the 3rd of this year, like later on this year, right? So what I find interesting, she's all about commerce. She's got a really good management team. How many people go to iTunes and buy iTunes these days? Obviously no one, right? Would you agree?
I used to have that prepaid card and
right. So iTunes has gone away, since, I don't know, 2019 probably, but you can actually, and they're promoting this on iTunes, The Life of the Showgirl, you can download it and buy my album on iTunes. Get limited or get some behind the scenes or other things once the album drops if you buy it through iTunes. So Taylor Swift's management company is trying to capitalize on that as well. So iTunes exclusive, The Life of the Showgirl, it costs $12. You get the 12-song track list and a short video titled A Look Behind the Curtain if you buy it on iTunes.
So she's partnering up with Apple. Before the album itself drops?
No, you get it once it drops on October the 3rd, it says here. But so here's what I'm thinking too. Someone like Taylor Swift, huge following. If she was to partner up with a record label or also a turntable company, that would turn, no pun intended, turn things upside down in terms of where the industry shifts to. Just one person. So that's where I can see this happening.
Project had that Beatles turntable. I think and then they had the Metallica. They did the Metallica one.
Okay, we're talking dad rock. So this is my point. So if we shift it to more younger generation, the Sabrina Carpenters, the Taylor Swifts, heaven forbid the Jonas Brothers. I said it, Danny, sorry. But if you start getting into partnerships like that to promote vinyl, which I'm assuming the record companies and executives are going to do that, or Justin Bieber, we're not putting stuff out there they're not already thinking about. That's what will shift it, and that's what you'll see a big shift, or more will be going towards tangible vinyl.
Steve, I have a point. Someone What did you say that was the percentage of people that buy records that don't even own a turntable?
Well, there was some little. It was a little. It was a little. It was like a sample size of 1,000 people, and this is a year or two ago. And
imagine if Project did a Taylor Swift turntable, or anybody made some sort of, if she's really into cats or something.
Well, drops the album with his turntable, right? Buy the exclusive Taylor Swift turntable with her new album, Life of a Showgirl. That's gonna knock vinyl sales out of the park. That's gonna get a whole new generation. Oh my gosh, I have to get the Taylor Swift turntable now. Project should almost write a blank check, because you know how many turntables they're going to sell.
And then how many records after
that's the shift we're going to see if we want vinyl to continue, and it will go from dad rock to current titles. That's what you need to see, like sort of this co-promotion of vinyl and all its components. Americana Sam, you're a millennial, clearly. Best looking of the bunch, youngest of the bunch here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think like a lot of people, because I'm within the last 5 years is when my vinyl collecting started. I think a lot of people in my age and a lot of the YouTube channels that I follow, COVID was a big factor in kind of making us think like, oh, we can order records and it's a cool thing to do while we're sitting at home. And then so as a result, that's when I started getting more into like, the record store days, that kind of thing. And then obviously, record store owners love the fact that, the Selena Gomez, the Taylor Swift, the Sabrina Carpenters, whenever they release a, even like the 45, like they can release a 45 and people are lined out the door like it's a brand new album and it's just, a demo version of one of her songs. And they love it. And it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I would get behind you on that. Like if there was some sort of, some sort of small beginner's turntable that they could go to a record store and buy for, $150 or less, people are going to do it because people are fanatics. Just like, I'm a big Bob Dylan guy. If Bob Dylan tomorrow was like, hey, I've got this, turntable that, was forged from the cobblestones of Greenwich Village, $100, I'll be like, sure, I'm going to buy it. It could be crap, but I'm still going to go buy it because I'm a Bob Dylan guy. So, I mean, that's obviously the direction that, the youth are going to be moving toward with vinyl. They're not going to, they're not going to care what it sounds like for a Taylor Swift or so.
I love this, right? Crazy kids and their Taylor Swift. So this is like, you shift back 60 years ago, it'd be crazy kids and their Beatles, crazy kids and their Rolling Stones. So again, generational shift. People our age might not understand the Justin Biebers or that music or the Taylor Swifts or the Sabrina Carpenters. And that's because it's a generational shift. Not everyone's going to like the Beatles. I was looking on Spotify this morning. You look at how many listeners are following the Beatles versus Justin Bieber. I think the Beatles have 32 million followers. Justin Bieber just under 100 million. Taylor Swift around 100 million. Rolling Stones at 23 million. Doobie Brothers at 8 million. You know what I mean? So if you look at that, that could say, well, Westman, maybe all the boomers and all the older people aren't streaming. Fine. But we still understand streaming is still the future. It's going to be. That's where all the money is. So those people that are streaming, if they can somehow, the marketing people of these vinyl labels can capture that, there's a whole other market we can get into, and it could be big and really see sales of vinyl skyrocket.
So my question would be, from just a data science perspective, how many of these people, and I'm purposely not calling them kids, I just want to call it as a group, how many of these people that buy these turntables fall off the cliff after that one record that they bought because of that turntable? How many people do not buy ever another record or listen to another record?
They only do that, Danny, when they watch your show.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
What do you mean, Danny? Like buying a cheap turntable as opposed to maybe like a Technics SL100C?
Yeah, I mean, that's one component of it. If you want to pivot it back to the, I guess, the perceived quality of the turntable, I'm just talking about vinyl as a cultural experience, so to speak. because there's a lot of one and done things, widgets out there that are being sold that are picked up and used one time and stashed away, never to be picked up again, right? So my question is, and all these companies, unfortunately, they're all private companies on the turntable side, and so you're never going to get that data out in the public. And I doubt that many of these companies even would track that data. But I would be really curious to know what the retention rate is of somebody buying a turntable because of Taylor Swift or Metallica or Bob Dylan or whoever, and continuously using it for the foreseeable future, and or getting more into vinyl, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's an interesting question to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, like a lot of people my age, I'm 31, and my first was one of the Crosley suitcases that was coming out like in 2009 or so. Got it for Christmas, and then I also received with it. I think the first record that I had with it was the 2009 Abbey Road reissue, and I remember sitting in my room like they would have in the 60s, like sitting on my floor playing it because I didn't have a table or a dresser that had extra space to put it on top of. So it was on the floor. Obviously, I didn't know, it was obviously off kilter. It wasn't balanced. But I didn't know any better. I just thought it was great. Like, I'm listening to vinyl in this capacity. This is what I have. This is what I have. But for me, it was because of that with, I would start noticing, heavier vinyl, 180 gram. I was doing research like, maybe 180 gram isn't great on a Crosley turntable. That's when I wanted to step it up to a second level. And I know that that's not the case for everybody, but for me, being a witness to that, because the Crosley started having those little bit of skips, I was like, I want to hear these records, this dozen or so records that I've accumulated. I want to move up to the second level, and then was talking to friends, trying to figure out what I was going to do, that kind of thing.
Sam, let me ask you a question. When you got that Crosley turntable and that 2009 Abbey Road,
yeah,
how many spins would you say did you got of the record before you started to hear like a deterioration in the sound?
That one, not as much. It was, I think the record that made me kind of second guess it was, probably about a year or two later, I received, I'm also a big Beach Boys, Brian Wilson guy, and he had put out a double record called No Peer Pressure, which was a thicker vinyl. And that was one or two spins. I was like, ooh, it's missing songs. I just took the shrink wrap off, and then I got a Willie Nelson record that was brand new, one of his newer ones. I put that on, same kind of thing. So Abbey Road itself wasn't the issue. It was when I got that next step, kind of thicker vinyl, and was opening it for the first time and thinking like, ooh, that's not a record issue.
Well, which goes back to Danny's point. You buy these cheap Crosley turntables, you play your record, I'm sure a Swifty's going to play her, a record a few times, starts to sound like crap, and like, this is not for me.
That's why a turntable company needs to partner up, a better quality one. Someone suggested, Danny or Robert, you said Project or someone like that, right? Or
Floyd one, they did the Metallica one, they did the Beatles one.
Or U-Turn as another turntable coming out of, I think, eastern part of the United States I could think of as well, right? So if they partner up, I mean, obviously it's a big check, or she takes a percentage of the sales or revenue or gross profit as part of the deal, and then continuously promotes it. I think these artists have to continuously promote it because it's sort of a new vehicle for a lot of younger people, because they grew up streaming. They grew up, I mean, guys, they grew up with this. They grew up with every single movie, everything on this phone, where we didn't. Our generation did not. So we have a little bit more appreciation maybe for the physical, tangible aspect of vinyl and should I say DVDs or CDs if you're into that. And I still like the tangibility of vinyl or a DVD, and just because I think it's something I grew up with. This generation grew up with streaming. They're the iPhone generation, so it's a little bit different. So we need certain people there that they look up to, and I hate to say it again, the Swifties or the Justin Bieber, the Biebers or whoever, they will shift vinyl and sales will go up if they're on board.
Well, there was a meme, you know, how people like to show off a new record that they got or what have you. Nobody ever said, hey, look at this new download I just got.
Mm.
Well,
Well, plus, I mean, there's obviously that cultural component to it as well, right? I mean, what kind of a cultural component is there to streaming? There's nothing tangible to have and hold to begin with, whereas a record has a cultural component to it. You know, a CD has a cultural component to it, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, heck, even a DVD has a cultural component to it. Think back to Blockbuster and all that stuff, right? So, you know, I wonder how much of an effect that has on the whole issue of new vinyl sales, retention of customers, expanding of customers, and how that all plays into it, right? I mean, you know, how often do you listen to records with your friends?
Well, see, here's the thing for us here, because again, I'm in a new house. We're in a townhouse, and so where I am right now in the basement is where I've kind of made as home base for all the records and this and that. But my turntable right now is upstairs. We have a small home office, but the eventual goal is to have a turntable in our main living space right above me. But with that, you know, I want the turntable down here with the records. And so it's that spatial thing for a smaller home. Also, we want to host people, and just trying to figure out, you know, where are we going to put a decent turntable, speakers upstairs so that we can host friends and have, you know, one shelf that has, you know, good records to have for people that they come over for a meal or, you know, game night or something. Because for me, my favorite part of hosting is putting on a record and trying to figure out the mood of a group of people. But also don't want to overwhelm, you know, my wife or whoever's over here with, oh, there's a lot of stuff here that's, you know, record related. So it's kind of it's a line that I have to toe for sure.
So maybe the younger generation too, more of a minimalist generation as well. It's like accumulating all these tangible things. Maybe you don't feel good about it. It's like, oh, I never grew up with all this stuff. Why do I need it now? Would that be something that the millennials would?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
because people always like to get stuff.
I like
Everybody
stuff,
likes
but
stuff.
again, I don't think when we were growing up, we got a lot more stuff because everything was tangible, Robert. Today, I think millennials are happy with a Roblox gift card.
yeah.
or a Minecraft gift card, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just different.
Well, see, I would kind of make myself different because I'm an older soul. I grew up with, you know, I was watching movies from the 40s before I could, you know, talk and, you know, listening to big band with my dad. And, yeah, I mean, like just even like aesthetically with the millennials, they like for you to walk into a room and you look around and you're thinking like, is this a model home? Like, because I don't see magazines anywhere. I don't see books. Like they want that clean kind of, you know, IKEA look to a room with nothing in it.
Spin the black vinyl. I'm going to answer this. I don't understand how vinyl hasn't exploded tenfold, 12-inch cover art, cool nods in every movie or TV show. Here's the thing. It's about money. I don't think millennials have the cash flow that we once did either. So when you look at some of these records that are going for, let's say, for instance, if you want to get into the audiophile, the premium box sets for $125, $150 UHQRs or MoFi one steps, or Because Sam Matter one steps, that's a lot of money for someone that's maybe living with mom and dad still, or trying, you know, renting and just living paycheck to paycheck. So the streaming option for $10 a month through Spotify or Apple Music is a pretty damn good alternative.
The box set is more expensive than the turntable they're playing.
I was going to say.
So, you know, I think that's a fair point and a great point that we live in this bubble. We, as in us together, live in this bubble where we're like, oh, you know what? $35 a record, no big deal. $40 a record, no big deal. $60 a record.
But Danny, I think that's changing as well. Even the audiophile industry market as well. You look at what, let's say, Rhino Hi-Fi at $39 a pop. That sort of seems to be $39 to $60 seems to be where a lot are happy with. I think those higher premium ones like the UHQRs and the one steps, they need to shift the packaging back and make it a $60 record, like they're like Analog Productions Atlantic 75 series. Get back to that, but with the premium vinyl, you're going to get a lot more people buying these records. 125, 150, that adds up. If you're a Canadian, that's almost $300 when it hits my door for one record.
Crazy.
I get to really love Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill to justify $300.
That's
No,
insane.
I mean, I'm a big, Tom Petty's one of my top 5 guys, and he just announced a UHQR of Wildflowers for the 30th anniversary, and I'm wanting it, but I'm like, I'm
the exact same way. I'm kind of.
So I have the test pressing. It's a Because Sound Matters one step, not UHQR.
One step, okay.
Yeah, and from Because Sound Matters, it was cut with the same mastering notes that Chris Bellman used in 2020. I think it came out the first time around.
Yep.
Exactly the same equipment. The equipment hasn't changed in that 5-year time period. The only difference, of course, it's a one step, and it's got the Neotech vinyl as well. So it sounds very dynamic, way quieter than my 2020. But if you got the 2020, that's no slouch either, right? That was also cut from the analog tape. So if you want to save money, or if you really are a completist and need the Tom Petty one step, then obviously you have to buy it.
I know I keep going back to the Taylor Swift turntable, but I'm telling you,
with her picture on the mat, that would be amazing.
I think if they had one, you would see a definite spike in record sales from Alpha to Omega. I think it would change the landscape, of vinyl sales. You would see a definite seismic shift.
Here's a question too: is the one step worth 3 times the price on Tom Petty? Is any one step worth the 3 times? It's all a personal opinion. If you want it, get it. It sounds great, but I've got the 2020 as well, and like for me, that's a $300 record. I can't justify that.
I will say one thing back on that whole price tangent. When people that have never heard or seen vinyl or records being played today in today's day and age, when they ask me how much a quote unquote new record goes for, they flip. They're like, this is insane. You're spending $40 for a record. I would have thought this is $5 because they're associating it with, the 1950s, 60s, 70s when they grew up. And obviously I'm talking about older people. I was born in 1870, so sort of my age.
You were there for the signing of the Declaration. That's amazing.
What was Abraham Lincoln like? Was he cool?
Cool guy, man. Loved records.
Yeah.
Says, don't believe everything on the internet, didn't he? Abraham Lincoln said that.
That's right. That's right. And so, and these are all people with means. And so they're like, dude, are you insane? You're spending $40 on a record? That's crazy. And it doesn't matter how good it sounds, and it doesn't matter if they're wowed by the playback.
40, hang on, 40.
It's the simple fact that it's $40 for a record.
What about someone who's paying $300 to $500 for a concert ticket?
Of course.
For me, that's insane.
Yeah.
$300 concert, you probably have 2 tickets, $600, parking, food, beer,
babysitting,
drugs. You're talking $1,000.
ZZ Top came to Vancouver for 2 or 3 shows. They wanted $300 a ticket. I'm like, I'm not doing this. That's $600.
Their shows are only like 75 minutes long.
Not doing it.
Short.
Yeah.
A record you get for the rest of your life and that you can pass down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's some same people that are saying $40. Well, back when the 60s or so, we've talked about this before. It's still, if you go back with inflation, whatever.
Well, I think price point
really changed.
I think price point's going to be a big thing to get the millennials at that level, Danny. So you're saying $40 record. We're looking at even if an audiophile quality record. Some good ones are going for $40 right now. It's the $40 to $60 range. Anything over that, you're not going to get anyone interested. Maybe a few Swifties would buy a UHQR, but I don't think they'd see the benefit of it other than it's a collectible. So I think that's the 40 or 60 going forward in the next 5 years will be a big shift in the audiophile industry as well. Less packaging, less waste, that type of thing, because people are going to run out of space at some point. Not everyone.
Meanwhile, they all have $1,200 iPhones.
Not everyone has mansions like Danny. They can just have extra rooms for their thousands of vinyl collection. But so I really feel that we're going to see that less packaging, less clutter. Clutter is a big thing. And Americana Sam, going back to being a millennial, yeah, I don't think you guys had as much tangible stuff as we did when we were younger. I really don't think so. That's a big thing.
I have two daughters. One is 31, one is 21. They're both into vinyl. My youngest, all her records she gets from me. And because she works 2 jobs, coffee shop, Barnes. Now she loves books. She'll have no problem spending, $15, $20 on a book, but a record. But my other daughter, Veronica, I mean, if she finds, she's like into like that, bands like Pentagram, that kind of sludgy. She will go buy 100. She's 31. She will go pay $100 for a rare record.
So Rick's V Spinner says
21 to 31, kind of. Yeah,
for sure.
So millennials are paying $2,000 for the next iPhone. Yes and no over a 2-year contract. So it's a monthly thing. With an actual record, you're not paying monthly.
So, but here's the question. So that's an interesting point, right? Now that you basically have access to pay over time, split your bill and pay over time from just about any financial institution that is looking to hook you into monthly payments. That $40 record could be just $5 a month for the next 10 months.
Plus 19% interest.
Yeah.
Daily charge daily.
Of course. But
read the fine print, folks.
They don't read that, right? They're like, $5 a day.
Think about this. Taylor Swift has enough money to actually do a whole financing on this stuff and just finance all the turntables that she's promoting on top of that and make 19%.
Oh yeah,
as well. I'm going to call up her management team. This is going to be a very lucrative deal.
Well, if she's watching, I came up with the idea. I'm going to want my cut. I'll take 5% of that.
Or have an engagement picture on the platter of Travis and Taylor with the cats on their shoulders. I think that would go for a fortune. That turntable.
Oh yeah,
I'm curious to see what the whole price elasticity. Again, the problem is we're never going to get that data. I don't even know if anyone is tracking it, and if someone is tracking it, they're going to keep it to themselves if it's beneficial to them, of course. So I don't, who knows? It's kind of an interesting conundrum.
So 5 years from now, 2030, where are we going to be with vinyl? Are we going to still talking about expensive $150 premium records? Do you think in 5 years from this show, looking back, some of the audiophile labels are going to see the light of day and say, you know what, let's go back to basic packaging? It's all about, I don't know about you guys, but I don't listen to the cover. I listen to the vinyl and I read the cover. I don't need it to be big and thick for the same thing if I can get it for $60, half the price.
I agree with you. I like to keep my records in the shrink. If it's a gatefold, whatever, but for me, listening to vinyl is kind of an isolating experience. I like, my afternoon iced coffee and listen to Pharoah Sanders. If my phone rings while it's happening, I throw a fit. It's.
You always put your phone on silent.
I think a big thing too, especially with millennials and things. I know the big thing. It's vinyl itself. Creating it, making it. It's not an environmentally conscious thing to do, and that's also a big deal for people. I know that you can get into arguments about this and that. I know a lot of pressings are moving toward that,
eco
vinyl.
vinyl.
Yeah, eco vinyl.
Horrible.
Yeah, right. But it's kind of like the whole thing is like, will that be something in 10 years, kind of like, an electric vehicle that they've honed in on to make vinyl seem a little bit more like, oh, that's the cool thing to do because, it's recycled.
If they can do it and make it quiet, yeah, that'd be great. But right now, Billie Eilish did it, and no one talked about the record. It talked about it, how it sounded like crap. It was noisy.
I got an idea.
Remembers the music.
I got another marketing idea. A partnership with Tesla and Taylor Swift, where you can listen to Taylor Swift records in your Tesla while it's self-driving. Pay monthly
Later.
for 30 years. Financed by Tesla and Taylor Swift.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
Or you know how some people like to use
You like that one, Danny?
Batteries for some of their equipment, like phono stages. Have a Tesla turntable that doesn't need electricity. It runs on a battery charge, and then you have it makes that noise floor quieter.
And you can recharge it in the back of your Tesla. There'll be a little slot there.
A Taylor Swift turntable made by Tesla that's battery operated
and financed by the Musk Swift Finance Company.
Sure.
There's some really cool
20 years
turntables that I've seen pop up from an industrial design perspective that are really something to look at. Of course, they're not cheap, but they look really cool. So maybe that's part of a component to it, right? If the turntable looks cool and doesn't look so old school, you know, with a tone arm and you see the platter and all that, people are like maybe antithetical to that. And so, I don't know. The problem is all these turntables that I've seen that look really cool, they're, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So that's completely out of the range of a Swiftie or anyone else for that matter that's, looking to get into vinyl playback.
To answer pumping vinyl, I could show the last two records I just purchased this week. If not to take a break in the show, but
well, we're gonna get there. That's okay. Any other thoughts on this? We can move on. There you go.
Yes.
Nice.
I know somebody had said earlier they were talking about instead of putting money toward coffee every day or that kind of thing.
I saw that comment.
Records.
Yeah.
The thing is, everybody has their own vice. Record collectors, whether we want to say it or not, it can be a vice because we're debating: do we buy this new box set or do we put a new garbage disposal in, that kind of thing. So the coffee people, unfortunately, some of us might be both. But you kind of have to make that decision yourself of, where am I going to put, if I really want this, new Taylor Swift album in 6 different color variants, maybe I don't go to Starbucks for 2 weeks, I don't know.
And while you're going to Starbucks, you're going to see something like this. 2001, we had the iPod. 1,000 songs in your pocket. Now today, 60 million songs on your wrist. Think about that. Yeah. When I was 10 years old, I could not even fathom having everything I ever wanted, every video or whatever on this phone. It's crazy. So I want to show you guys this. I saw this yesterday. Zach, thank you for letting me know about this. More One Steps coming out, guys. Can you believe it? From a different company altogether. So we're going to get some more Cannonball Adderley, something else. We're going to get some Mingus, Brubeck, some more.
Oh
Miles.
my gosh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Yeah.
So this is a company
else.
So it's a 45 RPM One Step company called, now bring it up here. Hang on. Here it is here. Audiophile is the name of the company, audionautisrecordings.com.
I think they're Italian, if I'm not mistaken.
They do a lot of reel-to-reel as well. So if you want more One Steps, they're coming out with more. What are your thoughts on that?
Can't wait. So excited.
You sound very facetious.
No.
I have a lot of the tone poets of, and I'm fine with those. Now, if they did Art Blakey Free for All, I'm all for that.
I don't think they're gonna sell very many of those One Steps.
Not if
so funny enough,
the same titles.
Here's a sidebar on that. So I don't know how it happened, but somehow or another I skipped out on buying the MoFi One Step of Off the Wall when I got Thriller, because I think they both come out at the same time or something or similar. Anyway,
year later, year and a half.
Okay, so somehow or another, off the wall, skipped my shopping cart, and I just got one yesterday, and my limited edition number is 5,428. So
how many are they doing? 30,000 of Thriller, weren't they?
yeah, so that's how many they sold, unless they're completely off base with or out of sequence with their numbering. Presumably they sold 5,428
Well,
copies.
I don't know.
So far.
I say they sold less than 10,000.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah. So, and the only reason I bought it is because I'm a stupid completist, and I figured, I have the Thriller. I'm gonna get off the wall. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting. I wonder how many Steely Dan's chat has sold. I guarantee you he hasn't crossed the 10,000 mark on any one of them.
Danny,
Maybe
how do you
Asia.
like that?
Maybe Asia. I doubt it.
How do you like the Off the Wall?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, Off the Wall and Thriller are for me.
No, I mean the one step that you just got. How's the
great? Great, really good, really good. I don't have my hot poker to compare it to, but it sounds pretty good for what it is. It sounds pretty good.
I know there was some complaints that they took kind of the life and the energy off of a dance record with.
Oh, really? Not maybe. I mean, I haven't been able to compare it to my original that I have.
Well, I'm excited to see Danny dance then. I would pay to see that.
When the lights are off.
Ooh, there you go. So I really feel partnerships are needed. Some of these big names today, big pop artists out there, to promote vinyl, to shift it to the next generation, to get them moving, because streaming is too easy and it's too cheap. $12 versus $60. Plus, you actually have to get off your chair and put the needle down and then get up in 10 minutes or 12 minutes. I don't know.
I mean, I've started streaming, and my system's no slouch. And I'm even bypassing the internal Saber with a Wolfson DAC on my Riga Illicit. And I'm telling you, man, these Max files, it's about maybe 90% of the sound of a good vinyl pressing. There's just a soul or something. I mean, this is what I often say. Someday they're going to make a robot that looks, feels, whatever, but it's still going to be a freaking robot. There's just something. It sounds good, but I just don't get. And I've AB'd, and I mean, there's been stuff that I've streamed that now that These Sacred Souls, perfect example. Someone told me about it, went listen. Then I got in the streaming, it's on a Max file and it sounds awesome. But that record, it's 20% better than.
Here's one thing: streaming's never going away.
Oh, I know.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. It's a matter of how many ears can we take from streaming and get into physical, tangible
and
media.
How important is sound quality too?
So that is it. It needs to be. There needs to be influencers that will do that. That's the only way the millennial generation will pick up on this. The influencers in social media will shift the mindset, and that's what we need to have happen for this generational shift to happen in the next 5 years. But also going back, I know we had said, is dad rock dead? I think I put that in our thumbnail. Do you think in 5 or 10 years, younger people, millennials, Sam, are going to be listening to Steely Dan as much as the newer stuff?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I do, because I mean, so many of those songs, for all of its, blessings and curses, TikTok brings a lot of that stuff back up. I mean, what was it? Rhiannon regained, a resurgence during the COVID years because of some guy like roller skating, and then like that became huge, and even Stevie Nicks herself like parodied the video, and Fleetwood Mac songs were going up. I mean, some of these big artists now, I mean, you look at, to use Bieber as an example, to start there, the reason he became famous was because of YouTube. And, you know, you look at somebody like, you know, Benson Boone, who's one of the up and coming stars. He's filling up Madison Square Garden. His song went huge on TikTok, and now he's filling up Madison Square Garden. You know, country singer, you know, for all of his faults, Morgan Wallen, the reason he's famous is because of the internet. And so that's how you're going to get these mega stars to
doing TikToks of them dropping the needle.
Right. I mean, even, you know, those 70 songs. I mean, I think Steely Dan is one of them that has kind of gained a resurgence. I mean, Connie Francis, you know, from the 60s, she just died. In her obituary, the song that they mentioned was Pretty Little Baby, which was not at all a hit for her.
Do you know my 6-year-old knows that song from TikToks on
exactly.
YouTube?
That's her obituary was written because of a TikTok song. They didn't even mention her bigger hits. It was this song that was like a B-side, because that was the one that blew up. And so like that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to see some of these deep cuts come up into the surface. Now, are they going to listen to full albums? I can't answer that right now, but their songs are going to be picked and choose, just like any other song that you hear on the radio a million times.
I was reading somewhere too, in terms of tracking sales of albums, for every 1,500 streams equals one sale of if you're comparing it from a physical album. So I'm not sure if that's a correct number. So 1,500 to 1.
I believe it.
But Christopher says, dead on, Sam. There you go.
Well, cheers.
Will YouTube kill the vinyl star?
Streaming killed the vinyl star, or could.
Yeah,
kill
maybe
the vinyl
MTV
star,
will come back. Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen it. I think I have a little bar chart here. We've seen vinyl, you know, this whole chart here since 2020. We've seen CD sales versus vinyl sales in the US, million of units every year. Vinyl keeps going up. Looks like CD is going down.
Yeah.
Will that continue? I don't think as many.
You know, again, like with so many of these charts and stuff, what is the data source for that?
That's an RIAA chart.
You know, what I'm seeing when I go to a swap meet, which I haven't been in forever, but I did go to one recently. I'm seeing a ton more CDs being sold. So, you know, I'm on my Instagram feeds. I see a ton more people talking about CDs. Now, that could be the algorithm doing its thing, and you know that's what he's looking for and whatnot. But yeah, exactly. You know,
CDs can be bought used real cheap. I was about to say that. Exactly.
CDs sound like shit. I mean, dude, that's ridiculous, right? That there's just as many shitty sounding records as there are shitty sounding CDs,
and vice versa.
Exactly.
One of my favorite pieces of my collection. I have an SACD of The Fantastic Expedition of Dillard and Clark, and that thing sounds fantastic. I mean, that's one of my prized possessions, and it's a CD.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's some phenomenal sounding CDs out there that are astoundingly good, that I'll put up against the record any day of the week.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's the physicality of it, right? It's the last, you know, it's the last most accessible physical medium that there's an abundance of, that has good sound, lasts long, obviously, and you know, is still available in abundance for $2. You know, who gives a shit about a $30 reissue when I can get the CD for $2?
So, Danny, we were talking about this when you and I did our show together. Now, especially Apple Music, they're designing their Apple Music catalog towards selling more AirPods.
Yeah,
the $400 AirPods. So that's what I think the vinyl industry is going to be up against, is the fact that Apple wants to make as much money as possible, and this is a good way to brand selling AirPods for $400. I mean, someone was saying, oh, well, the new generation is going to buy the next iPhone for $2,000. Well, Apple will also throw in the AirPods for $400.
And when they invested all that money in Beats headphones.
So that's what they're going to do to get more money out of the consumer. You're just paying monthly anyways. So why would I need a vinyl record player when I have these $400 or $500 AirPods and they sound great when I listen to my Apple Music? So that will be the biggest competition. I know Danny won't disagree with that. That's bang on. That's dead on.
Not at all. And moreover, I'll just say it, and because I always get flack when I talk about it. I will say, AirPods with Dolby Atmos, if it's a well done Dolby Atmos mix, sounds freaking phenomenal.
So that's
It
a problem.
really does.
That's a problem for the younger generation
really
to switch
does.
back to
It
vinyl if they don't
sounds
have the
phenomenal.
proper.
How does that
equipment.
work, Danny, though? Isn't the Dolby Atmos for like 5.2 or whatever? How would that work with just having...
So they do it with digital futzery. They can make spatial music out of two channels, and they just add phase and delay information, all kinds of stuff in the digital domain, and they can create a extremely convincing Dolby Atmos mix in your head. And I shouldn't have said in your head. It really is outside of your head. It's really, so I personally don't like listening to headphones
I don't either.
much.
I want to hear my system I put in.
And the number one reason I never did is because it's all in my head, right? Which is a lot of crap in it already. So I don't need more crap in it. But Dolby Atmos with AirPods is the first time that I truly felt that music is not in my head anymore. It's an experience like listening to a good hi-fi with speakers.
Wow.
So, I mean, looking back to Apple's AirPods,
And it comes
I mean,
with every AirPod sold, and it comes with every.
So Danny, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, just the AirPods. So Apple's not going to want that to go away.
Of course.
They're going to fight up against the vinyl industry and the turntable industry and say, "Hey, we want that money that you'd be spending otherwise, and we'll also finance it." So when you buy your $2,000 phone, we'll also finance your AirPods as well to get that wonderful listening experience. And by the way, we'll also charge you an extra $10 a month to listen to the music.
Yeah. Package it all together.
So it's a tough sell for the millennials if that's the way that it's packaged financially, convenience, and of course you're mentioning the sound of these AirPods as well. So that is what we're up against.
To add further insult to the point, but I know for a fact that Apple Music is spending a boatload of money to studios to mix in Dolby Atmos.
Yep, that's true.
Boatload of money.
Yeah, if you were to listen, because I know like Tidal sometimes has Dolby Atmos mixes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was to listen to that in my 2-channel system,
you're not going to hear it.
Electrical benefit?
No, you're not going to hear that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
So that's what's going to have to happen. Influencers have to shift. We need to get some of the artists today shifting towards vinyl, but we're up against it because Apple, being a $1 trillion company, they get all the money. They can control the market just by spending cash, and it's no big deal to them. So I don't think that streaming's ever going away. The AirPods are going to continue to get better and better as we move forward here in 5 or 10 years. So it's going to be up to the millennials that want more of an experience, want to sit down with the music, experience that music emotionally in a chair, having to get off your chair in 10 minutes, 12 minutes to flip your record, experience that. And that's what's going to have to happen.
But they just they didn't grow up that way like we did. You know? So
there'll be a shift. I don't think as the demographic shifts and we have less and less baby boomers, which is reality. I'm not trying to be morbid or whatnot. That's just reality here. I think the vinyl, especially the higher price stuff, will be in less demand.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's just logical to me, right? Because where the money is, the generational shift right now, baby boomers have all the money. We know that. At some point, there's going to be a generational wealth shift. But with that wealth shift, will the inheritors use that money to buy physical media and turntables? Probably not. They want to buy a house because houses are bloody expensive. So, you know what I mean? So let's shift off that. I want to get some picks out for everyone. You guys brought some records. That's always fun. I'll start with Americana Sam. I know you did your homework. I was texting you about that. So what did you bring to show the folks today that you think sounds great? Maybe it's a good deal too. It's not going to break the bank for some of the younger folk.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just start for me because again, I'm new to the hobby and I'm trying to, I watch a lot of YouTube channels, but also trying to toe the line to like spend time to listen to the music too. But my favorite record in my collection is actually it's a craft. It's a Kevin Gray, Church Street Blues by Tony Rice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which they always say
turn it around too.
I'm sorry.
Turn it around too so they can see the back of it.
All right, let me take the record out.
When did that come out, Sam?
The reissue came out in 23.
Are they still readily available? Because I know OGs of those are freaking expensive.
Yeah, because it's originally, the Sugar Hill label was the original. I know he put out the other one that Kraft did, and they have another one coming out in a couple weeks. He did one called Native American, which was originally from like 88 or 89. Mm-hmm. That one was only about 500 copies. But this thing, again, listening to acoustic music on a turntable, there's nothing like it. And this is really just Tony and his brother are on here, so it's pretty much just a straight acoustic album with Tony's clean voice, who is a Virginian, by the way. Thank you, Jason. I got Jason into this as well. But I think this thing smokes. And yeah, because it's craft, you're looking, when it originally came out, $25 for whatever it was with shipping here.
I've never had a problem with craft. For value wise and sound wise, craft is like, I think we don't give it enough credit here on this show. We don't talk about it craft enough. And guys, if you're listening, check out some of the craft titles out there. There's some great stuff and they're readily available, aren't they, Sam?
Yeah. I picked up a lot of great jazz titles on craft. And I love that they've kind of taken over the Tony Rice. They're not going in order. Like I said, Native American came long after this. This was one of his first really breakthrough albums as a solo artist. And then the other one that's coming out is called Sweetwater, which is kind of a like a jazzy kind of record. Because Tony, for those that know Tony, went through all sorts of phases. He did jazz. He did like progressive bluegrass. So he was singing, Gordon Lightfoot, Bob Dylan songs when that was taboo for the old timers listening to bluegrass. And he was playing with groups that had drum kits, which was also taboo for traditional bluegrass setups. But I absolutely think that this is the record that it's a non-offensive record. So like this is the record I put on, even if you don't like bluegrass, because it's not that high harmony kind of stuff.
No, I've listened to that on streaming, and I would love to have that on vinyl. When this show as soon as
you're getting that available. So is that a triple A Kevin Gray?
Yeah, it's a triple A. Okay. Yeah. So it's just and the review from the New Yorker says he did for the acoustic guitar what Jimi Hendrix did for the electric. So
he's a Tony Rice guitar player.
He's
Tony Rice, Church Street Blues, craft recording, $20 on Discogs. You figure, or what do you?
When they originally came out, I don't know if it's still in the public domain right now to pick up.
Getting back at that, so that's my point about these audiophile pressings that you have in your hand there, Sam. Let's get back just normal packaging. Let's reduce the price and get more people involved in some of the great sounding records. Use the model that Kraft is using. Use the model that Rhino Hi-Fi is using, and move forward.
Yeah,
enough's enough. Danny, what do you got? Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right?
Woo!
He's all right.
Woo-wee! All right, so I picked up this at first listen. Really good.
It's Mobile Fidelity Parliament.
Anyway. Huh?
Name the title. Name the record. Who's the label?
Mother Connection. Come on.
You can read a lot there. That's a good liner notes there. I love it.
Come on. Yeah, these liner notes right here are fantastic. See that? It's great.
Little blue dot, like Carl Sagan said.
Yes, got the
hang on, stop. Go back. What did you think of it? I've seen a lot of posts on the forum.
I don't buy records to listen to them.
You don't? Okay, cool. He buys them just to go on the show.
That's right.
Wow.
No, it's actually really good. Really, really good. Don't have an original to compare it to, but this sounds really good. Nice, warm, fat, punchy. Classic sort of 70s analog funk. Really, really good. This thing surprised me.
What are we looking at?
Really good. The
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really good sounding. Maybe not quite as much bass as my Hot Poker original, but do I have an original? I have a Hot Poker. I don't know if it's an original. Maybe it's a repress. Anyway, highly recommend it. Seriously, surprisingly good, especially after the letdown of the Heart album, which I feel did not sound all that great.
So moving back, the Heart
particularly-
album that was cut by Mobile Fidelity, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The first, it's a 2-record, 45 RPM set. The first record sounds nothing like the second record. Maybe they had a faux pas, just like they did with the Fleetwood Mac that came out a year ago. But somebody needs to really pay more attention to quality control with MoFi. This was recommended to me. Nyron Higor, Brazilian jazz, absolutely killer. Really, really cool. So, by the way,
what's the label? What label is it? Where'd you get it?
This is Far Out Recordings.
Okay.
Far Out. Where is it? Far Out.
You like it?
Yes, very much so. Great Brazilian jazz. This is from my Verve record club. Oscar Peterson, absolutely killer. They're killing it with these, by the way. Expensive as hell. I mean, it's
what are they worth?
$50 for the Verve subscription. But I will say the titles that they're coming out with, Amen, Hallelujah, are not the same old titles that have been reissued till your nosebleed stops. So kudos to them for doing that. And they're all in premium gatefold jackets, but they're $50 a pop. But it sounds really good.
So, Danny, going back to, so you're not going to be buying the Audiophile
I subscribed.
These guys are coming
10
up.
copies each.
Look at this.
They're going to go up in value. This is killer. 3 Blind Mice, hard to find, but there's reissues of it.
So, what label is that? Where do we buy it? Explain to the folks.
I got it on eBay.
Okay.
This is Mari Nakamoto, her 3rd album. Here, let me see if I can get the OB strip off of it.
So is it Japanese pressing, or what is this?
Yeah, Sony Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, it's stuck. If you want, so I love 3 Blind Mice recordings. Not all of them, but many of them are, in my opinion, great music. It's the classic sort of Japanese 70s jazz funk, etc. Mari Nakamoto is freaking phenomenal. Great singer, beautiful record. Highly recommend it if you're into that kind of music. If you're not, then I can't help you. What do you want me to tell you? Go get an ice cream. Brandy Younger, killer, $33 on eBay. It's an impulse record, a little noisy, but freaking phenomenal. If you like harps.
I was going to say, what's the genre here?
Jazz.
Okay.
Killer. Absolutely killer. Phenomenal sounding.
What does she play? What instrument does she play?
The harp. Biosphere, The Way of Time. Never heard of it. The only reason I picked it is because I wanted to equalize out my my shipping costs. And so I looked through their store, and this one looked interesting. I listened to it. It's freaking killer. It's electronic, ambient electronic, I would say. Maybe not quite ambient, but electronic for sure. Unbelievable good sound. Seriously. If you're into electronic music, totally cool. Maze of Sounds. Janko Nilovic and the Soul Surfers. Jazz, up-tempo, a little bit of funk in it. Phenomenal. $30. And Mulatu of Ethiopia. Awesome 70s jazz funk. Unbelievable. And that's it. That's all I got.
Did you do all that shopping in Canada when you're up in Canada? Right
No.
by me here?
eBay.
I didn't know you used eBay.
eBay.
Okay, Robert, the vinyl cowboy. He's coming in hot.
Well,
He's
I've
coming in
often
hot.
talked about the Tone Poets and classic series. If you like that jazz, funk, and who was it that always says bass for days that comes on your show? But this here, Two-Headed Freak, Ronnie Foster.
Here we go.
This thing here is bass for days, and it is funky, good jazz. on the Blue Note classic label.
That's Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray, of course. No, and as well as jazz, I like prog, Genesis, yes, what have you. And they've been doing the whole AP Atlantic 75 series. And probably my favorite Genesis album is Foxtrot. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever heard the original pressing of Foxtrot, it's muddy, it's horrible. And the CD just came out, but on the acoustic sounds for the past year and a half for Foxtrot, it says to be announced. There's no vinyl version. So I've had a Japanese promo that sounded pretty good, but I think this is a 2018 pressing, just a deluxe version, they call it, mastered by Miles Showall, half speed. And this sound, if you love Foxtrot, we're talking about, maybe if it's streaming, it might sound, but because the original just sounds horrible. This sounds really good. And and I don't know why there's been such a delay with getting that out with this particular title. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's still readily available, and it's fantastic. It sounds really, really good. I'm a huge Pharoah Sanders fan, and I just showing the records that we just got recently. This just came out this week. This was the Maison, the complete 1975 recordings of the Maison de la Radio in Paris. 2-album set. Really good. I was at the Orlando Record Show, and about 2 months ago, and I got this. This is the, basically, is there a lot of fluff and stuff in here? Yes, but if you're as much of a Pharoah Sanders fan as I am, you don't mind listening to all that. But this is this is a French pressing from, I think 2020. And it also sounds really, really good. And speaking of acoustic sounds, but I did buy on the Atlantic, the Roberta.
I have that record. It's absolutely phenomenal sounding.
Is
you have to get
beautiful.
This cut. Yeah.
Sounds so good. Really good. Love that record.
And that's my point going back, the Atlantic 75 series, like you're just holding up the Roberta Flack. Get back to just those type of records with premium
that's
vinyl.
All you need.
You know what I mean? None of this box stuff. As you probably know, I have the test pressing here. This is Interscope Records. This is Dr. Dre, The Chronic. I have the One Step in front of me here. I was able to borrow my buddy's original 1992 Bernie Grundman and compare the two of them. I will say, of course, this is a hip hop record. You're really getting the bass bouncing, the dynamics, especially with the One Step. There's a lot of F words, there's a lot of N words. So, you got to wrap your head around all that. Of course, I'm sure you guys know that. But there was one part that you hear like the gunshots and the siren and stuff. And I had to look around my room. Oh my gosh, where's that coming from? It actually scared me. So
I
very,
love records that scare
very
me.
dynamic. Some of this scared me. So very dynamic. It's of course expensive. It's $125, but it's Dr. Dre, cut by Chris Bellman from the original master tapes. I think it comes out. I think you can pre-order now on the Interscope website. And I did mention, I think it's like $125. If you don't have a Dr. Dre and we're going into, millennial shifting, I think this one should sell pretty well. I really do. I'm impressed with it. And it's AAA.
It sells really well on my shelf.
And I also got to listen to the Tom Petty Wildflowers One Step as well. If you've got the 2020 Chris Bellman, you're going to get a little bit of an upgrade on this One Step, clearly. But do you want to spend the extra money? That's up to you if you're a completist in the Tom Petty catalog, yes. But they both sound phenomenal. Chris Bellman used the same mastering notes, like I was mentioning at the top. Same equipment used 5 years ago. The difference being, it's a One Step, a little bit closer to the tape, and Neotech vinyl. That's the difference. So a little bit more dynamic. But yeah, this would be interesting to see. Someone was mentioned here, Dr. Dre One Step is a good test for younger audiophiles. Like I said, some of this stuff, it scared me. It was so in your face. I was like, whoa, where's that coming from? It's great. This is not a record I could play with my 6-year-old around, clearly, as we all know.
Yeah.
So that was what I did this week. I was really excited for it. I actually put some reviews up on, I think it was the MoFi Buy and Sell Facebook group with both the Wildflowers and Dr. Dre. My thoughts on it. It's good stuff. Well, let's wrap it there, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful hour and change. So getting back to it, last thoughts, audiophile, not just audiophile vinyl, just vinyl in general. Will we see a generational shift coming? Americana Sam, thoughts before we go, and then Robert, will end it with you.
Yeah, I think as long as we have these mega stars that are promoting vinyl, the physical aspect of vinyl, I don't think is going to go anywhere anytime soon, because it's there's so many things you can do with it, so many different covers. You can put a bonus song on every single different variant that you do, which Taylor Swift did, Paul McCartney's done it, and so that aspect's not going anywhere. I don't see it ever being hitting the popularity that it did, in the 70s and 80s. I don't ever see that happening again, especially with streaming always being the driving force behind music, especially with cars that are being made that you can just stream Bluetooth your music. But yeah, again, you've got the TikToks, you've got the Instagram reels where you're playing this old music. The old music's not going to go anywhere. It's just up to, those types of songs to continue hitting that viral popularity in order for young kids like your kids, Steve, to know, Connie Francis B-side to a song.
TikTok.
Yeah. And whatever comes after TikTok, because there'll always be something, but yeah, it'll be here. We'll just see what, people, like what my kids would think about getting a, Tom Petty One Step in 30 years.
Robert.
I don't know if we're ever going to have another shift like we did during the COVID. I mean, that definitely,
that was a cash flow thing too, right? No concerts, no restaurants. So we have all this more disposable income. Well, it's buy vinyl. It's a lot going on in the YouTube. Let's do this. I mean, we saw that was an anomaly. Right.
And are we ever going to see another anomaly like that? I don't know. I hope it's not something as horrible as COVID. But as many of you know, I run radio stations in California and Texas, and I was the general manager of a modern rock radio station in Sacramento, KWOD 106.5. And we were always battling against the rock. Well, had no ratings. It was horrible until Nirvana and the grunge thing. And I remember sitting in a meeting, and when we finally beat the rock station, and everybody was, oh yeah, we're number one, blah blah blah, and being this little modern rock alternative station, and I said, well, you guys are slapping each other on the back. I want to remind you something: rock and roll will never die, and eventually, sometimes they beat us 1834, sometimes we beat them 1834, but the main thing is, I think, as far as our lifetime goes, people are never going to forget the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Eagles, Steely Dan. That is ingrained in our culture. Steely Dan has become almost kind of in it, whether it's a positive or a negative, audiophile music, what have you. But is vinyl going to, I think in our lifetime, but in the future, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But I think some of these classic bands and stuff like that, I mean, maybe great bands like that I love, like UK, they may become forgotten. But yes, and Genesis, there's always going to be a place for rock music.
Absolutely agree with that. Generational shift, I think it will happen to less of an extent because you know what the big thing is? 60 years ago, there was less options for people listening. There's less bands.
Right.
The population was way less. There's less ways to listen to music there is today. There's way more choices today.
Well, and it just goes again now with all these bands that are out there, and Sam was talking about all these new YouTube. Yeah. And if the Steely Dans and the Rolling Stones and the Eagles of the world can still survive that now, it's even more of a sticking point of how powerful their music is.
And I'll leave it on this note as well. I mean, you see some of these older bands, they're selling their catalog. I think the dollar signs are going ding, 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 ding. This is an opportunity now to settle my estate, get my heirs in order, my estate in order for my heirs, that type of thing. Because who knows what 10 years will bring, what this catalog will be worth. Will it be worth the $150 million that they're offering me right now?
Yeah.
Let's just cash in.
I just watched a YouTube video with Neil Young. He's like, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do anymore. Yeah. I can do what
but he's 70, 80 years old. He's worked his whole life doing it. Not a lot of artists can say that, but that's the whole thing.
I've had to do that. I've had to be beholden to the record company.
There you go.
Because I can, unless it's going to hurt my family personally, I'm going to do whatever the F I want to do, and I ain't going to do anything I don't want to do.
Rob Walker says the UK will never be forgotten. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Everyone that's watching, thank you. God save the Queen. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and thank you so much, everyone.
You too. Thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.